Compared to other C-suite roles, which remain the same everywhere, you said this, does the role of the COO vary from company to company? You talked about that. It depends on the company and what they need and where they are.
Right. When we were writing the book, we determined that there were 7 different kinds of COOs, and it's a little bit tedious to run through the 7, but just as a couple of examples. There are instances where the COO is really brought in to mentor a young, less experienced founder. Back at the time we were writing the book, we talked about Mort Topfer and Michael Dell at Dell Computing. More recently, people have talked about some of the folks brought in at Google to help try to provide the founders with some help. So that mentor is really important to an entrepreneur, right? That's a very different kind of COO role than if you're brought in to be a change agent like Bob Herbold was at Microsoft years ago. And that job is different even still from a situation where the CEO just has some missing pieces. There's something about their personality, their style, their habits that leave them a little incomplete. And by bringing on a COO, you have the ability to kind of round out that skill set, and together they lead the company, right? And even that is different than what it's like to be a COO if you are, in fact, being tested as the potential heir.
It's interesting. I was thinking about a lot of new companies, tech companies, where you have these brilliant young leaders who may not have that, like you said, deep bench experience. Mm-hmm. And so the CEO would kind of come in to bring structure while the CEO is out, still creating some tech idea, something like that.
Well, it's very interesting in a startup because the CEO oftentimes initially is really about the technology, the idea. That doesn't necessarily make you a good CEO or a good COO. So there's a lot of learning that has to take place for that individual to grow with the company and to keep their rate of growth from slowing down the company's rate of growth. Typically, the CEO role is where they go. They're the founder, they're the name and face, they're who people expect to see. That's who an investor wants to see. That's who pundits want to see. Mm-hmm. But you're right, to do that while at the same time trying to handle all the complexity of a rapidly growing firm without a COO sounds like a misery.